Buenos dias, todos. Hello, everybody. What,
Hello.
what do you
Hello.
say? What do you say, Cecil? Oh, you're here to teach Sonny how to whack people with things, right? I think she already knows. I think she already knows. Jeez, that was that was a little spooky. What are you doing, slamming that in my face, huh? You big boy. You big boy. Hmm? Hi, gay. Hi, gay. What are you doing?
KK, you're such a sweetheart, as always.
Hey, watch the ear. You're gonna keep whacking me in the ear. I know it.
KK is such a charmer.
I'm trying to change the camera. I did get to actually answer a a survey on this app and tell them that they need to give me a button on the front to switch between two cameras. Uh, let's see if they pay any attention. I doubt it. They seem to be a little more responsive than that company that has the disgusting logo. Uh, hey, would you quit whacking me on the earpiece? It doesn't work terribly well. I could tickle your ear, make you yawn. I could. I can make you yawn. You want me to make you yawn? I can
Well,
do it.
Cecil has to do that quality test now.
You're a
So
good
welcome,
bird.
Jocelyn Treadle. She is the first one in chat saying, hey ho, Don Scott and everyone. So
Hey,
greetings to
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn and her bird Cinnamon. Also, we want to welcome all the other viewers.
Oh, the
Great,
lurker.
you
The
you
the
have the time
lurkers,
to join in. Yeah, the lurkers.
and the ones who come later. You know that can't make it during the day because some people are working right now. So
Exactly. It's not for everybody already 9 o'clock in the evening, like for me.
yeah, those poor people who are hammering gold into rings of power for the oligarchs.
Mhm.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, hi. Yeah, you learned that. I know who you learned that from. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, well, someone just reached over and tapped me with his foot several times. And so he's been watching Cecil do that to get attention. Now KK just did it.
Mhm.
That's called modeling, folks. If you want to know, these guys are good at that. And if
Really,
you
I
do
had no
something,
idea.
and
No, I see
if,
that with my botchies all the time.
yeah, and if you do something terribly stupid and they watch you, like I'm not doing that. So that's called vicarious learning. Most animals do. You can do that in front of a dog and it'll never figure it out. It'll just look at you like, what? What? But these guys are like, oh, he put his finger in the fire and it hurt. I ain't doing that. No.
So, do I see it right? The birds have a bottle opener.
No. That is actually a there's a twist and turn bowl that goes in these and you attach them with a it's missing the clip with the screw, fortunately, because Cecil would kill me with it. But
Mhm.
it goes
To
again.
me, it looks like a bottle opener.
Yeah, there's one over there, but I don't can't see it too well. It's on that
Oh,
cage where
we have a bottle opener in timeout.
no,
No?
no. Oh, she's decided to be in timeout. I don't know why. She just likes to go into cages to rest. We have Jazz with us today, and of course we have Sugar and the Bucket Boys, KK and Cecil. Pip, pip, pippa. Yeah. Who are you? Is that Snowball? Snowbird? A widow bird? Are you a widow bird? He's like, yeah, why are you saying that to me? And she said it to me. And then Lucy up on top, who's decided that's her favorite spot right now. She moves around a bit though. She's creative. Yesterday she was sitting looking out the window up on one of those ropes over there, just looking out.
Cool. Good girl,
It's not
Lucy.
too cool. It's not too cool out there. It's pretty hot in there. It's the desert, you know.
Mm.
Cause yesterday went to the vet. Yeah, our vet works Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and everything else is by appointment. Um, and she's getting her blood tested for avian ganglioneuritis because her vision is failing. So, and her eyes are normal. I mean, they respond normally to light, but she can't see clearly with them. So she got a shot of Celebrex yesterday, which is eh, similar to Metacam, but it's not the same. Metacam, this is not going to mean anything, but there's two kinds of inhibitors. They inhibit certain parts of the structure of the brain, okay? Certain types of structures. Um, One of the ones that Metacam has in it is not good for birds because who have AGN because it tends to make digestion more difficult. So you have to pick a drug that doesn't do that. So she got a shot of that because it wouldn't hurt anyway. It's not going to hurt her to get a shot. And then she gets another one next week. I should say the end of this week. And then should know that week from back from the lab if she has it. They'll be testing for the antibodies, the ganglioside antibodies. And if that's what she has, her vision should be back within a couple of months.
That would be awesome.
It would. You want to sit on my shoulder? Is that what you want to do? Okay.
So let's read a couple of more chatters. So welcome to Colin Thurston saying, hey ho, birdies. And then we have Falcon Sue wishing a happy Monday to everyone and every hooligan.
Hi, guys. Hi, Calvin. Hi, Falcon, Sue. There's the shug, 1 foot up. Preening with a foot up. That's kind of different there, shug.
Yeah, she really gained a lot of balance back. Good girl, Shug. You look cuddly. Lovely, Shug.
She does
I
look
think her
cuddly.
ears like that. Look, Shuggy. Was
I
that a
haven't got,
slip? A
I haven't,
yawn.
I haven't got to cuddle her too many times. She's not too much into cuddling, but
Yeah,
beak petting, yes. But I have cuddled her a few times. There have been times when she'd let me do it, but I
most
could
of the
probably.
time when she has terribly upset you beforehand.
Oh, it's usually when she's not feeling well, so we don't want her to cuddle too much, do we, girl? You know, because when you're cuddly, you're not feeling too good.
No, it's okay when you just look cuddly.
What we're going to talk about today, folks, is the two states of mind that are going to hurt you the most if you're working with parrots that have a problem. I'm talking about medical problems, something urgent. One is panic, when you're liable to do anything, step out of bounds and try something you shouldn't, that kind of thing. And the other one is complacency or arrogance. When I got this, I know I can handle this. Yeah, it's easy. Um, Both of those can be highly dangerous. So And we all do it. We get in a situation, we panic, right?
Yep. Or we think we have more skills than we actually are.
Yeah, there's a scene in a book that Amy uh, told me I should read. It's called The Swarm. But there's a scene in
Oh,
there where,
I thought the Strubbelpeter.
but in the scene, this woman is running away from a tidal wave, and she reaches into her pocket for her keys, but she fumbles them and they fall on the ground. That's the end. Yeah, the tsunami gets her. So that's the thing about panic. You
And you
want
haven't
to,
done a spoiler alert.
huh?
You haven't done a spoiler alert. What if
Oh no.
anybody wants to read this book?
Yeah, well, if you get the audiobook, it's 38 hours long. So I don't think one little thing is going to, yeah, it might give away that scene, but there's a lot of scenes in that book. That's excellent book, by the way. And the
I'm just
science,
kidding.
and the, I know you are, and the science behind it is excellent too. So well thought out. Um,
Well, the author is quite educated himself, so
yeah, it's an amazing
he,
book.
he has done his homework.
That's the only book he has translated in English that I can find, unfortunately.
Yeah. There are some really good other ones, like he has also written an historic book, which is playing in medieval, I think, which is awesome. It's called, I think, Tod und Teufel. But it's sad when it hasn't made it into English.
Well, if I wasn't so terrible at German, I'd read it in German, but I had trouble getting through the children's books. Um,
Yeah,
all
so we might greet some more viewers. So our chatters, we have Rosebud Atkins here saying hello, vlog. So welcome, Rosebud. Good to see you. And then Lisa Banerjee has joined us. Hello, Lisa, and greetings to Rico. Cecil, say hi, Lisa. Oh no, he prefers stepping on KK. That's oh my
right. KK won't put up with that too much, so you better watch it. KK doesn't like it when
Mhm.
he starts doing that.
Cecil, be more polite to your friend, eh?
Well, hi guys, hi Lisa, hi Rosebud. Um, yeah, so the other side of it, and when you panic, I mean, there's always the panic thing. We'll go into this more in detail, but the complacency thing where people say, "Oh, I know, I got this. This is real easy." That's with Coco. She had a really small, she had a tiny little cut on her foot. I mean, it didn't go in an eighth of an inch. We're talking less than a millimeter. Really easy to fix. Put some uh, super clot on it. Checked on it all day. It looked perfectly healed by the evening. And she tore her foot open in the middle of the night. Now she's not here. So even on something simple like that, and I don't know that I could have figured that out because I've had so many little cuts like that. Right now, Snowball's got something between his nares I'm dealing with. Um, Fortunately, I have fresh Silvadine. I got that yesterday. So um, there's always something. But when in doubt, get to an avian veterinarian. If you don't have one close to you, and that happens a lot, use Chat GPT and talk to a regular vet. Or call up an avian vet and pay online to talk to them about it. Send them pictures. Go to a regular vet, have them draw blood, even if they have to just take it from the nail, and then send all that blood work in for you to the according to wherever your avian vet you've been talking to tells you to use what lab to use. Um, that way you can get some information back. There's ways around everything. You got to find workarounds when you've got parrots. And you got to be careful. What may look like it's not a problem could end up being something major. So keep your eyes on them. Complacency is probably the worst because you think you know how to handle the situation, and then you don't. Another thing about one of the things about panic, I'm just going general here. I'll go in more detail. But if you if you have a really dire situation and it's one that the vets can't help with, don't run off and start looking at things that, are you okay over there? You're going to sneeze some more there? I know there's not much moisture in this room. That's the problem. She doesn't
That's
like that.
sneaky Pip Pip.
Yeah, that's Pippa. She hasn't been sneezing because the living room's at 40% humidity, but it's probably down to 5 or 10 in here.
Sweet
Probably
Pip
should
Pip.
get probably should get another humidifier, but
Oh, a
two
sweet
of the
little triangle lady.
yeah, she is a sweet girl. So if you panic and you think, oh well, they use this on dogs, maybe this will work, don't do it. Or a different species of bird, it's not a parrot, don't do it. If you know, check with Chat GPT. If you can't get a hold, if it's like the middle of the night, you can't get a hold of a veterinarian, at least do that. It'll give you unbiased information directly from veterinary sources and that kind of thing, why you should or shouldn't do something. But check with someone. Don't just assume that you have all the answers. Because if you had all the answers, wouldn't you be ruling the world like sugar? We all get arrogant like that, though, and think, "Oh, I know this situation. I can handle it." Well, have somebody else look in it. Yet, if you have a significant other in your home, or even a child, you know, that's 10, 12 years old, have them bounce it off them too. So it's not just your thinking. So, try to get to my notes here. Da, 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 da. So what we're trying to do is stay grounded when we're dealing with our parrots. Don't fly off the handle one way or the other. If you've ever seen that cartoon with Witch Hazel, every time she runs, there's like hairpins coming out of the back of her head, flying behind her. That's kind of how we get. We humans can tend to do that, probably because we were being chased by tigers or lions. You know, our ancestors were anyway. So the tendency to panic, and the other side is a tendency to think we know too. You know, oh, I know what that is. I can solve that. For example, when I was working with Cause, and Cause is she's her weight's back up. She's doing great right now. We're just checking to see if she has AGN, but I worked with Chat GPT. I had it print up charts so that if her weight dropped to below a certain level, I would give her food, and then it was analyzing the differences because she would really go way down in weight, and then I'd feed her and it'd go way back up and it'd go way down again. That's not normal. The range should be a lot closer. So, you know, it was checking me on range, and then I was taking pictures of her poop, which I still do once in a while. And then Chat GPT was analyzing it. You have to pay for that version, by the way. You won't do that with a free one. You can't give it pictures, but you can if you pay for it. And it did a great analysis. It would tell me if there was enough water in it. Of course, I could figure most of this out, but once in a while, it would point out something I hadn't noticed. So, kind of like the keys that you left on the kitchen table, but you don't see them because you know you didn't leave them in the kitchen table. So, So, how do you know you're in a panic mode? Well, you know when you're rushing around, you're shouting, you're dropping things, you're not thinking clearly. So, what are the common things you can do wrong? You can mishandle the bird, like with Roman, if you were to take Roman out of his cage without following the proper protocol, and he has it written down somewhere, I'm sure, um, you're going to put a band-aid on your hand before you get him out of his cage. Now, I've only seen him not react that way once, and that was when he could tell by my face that there was something dangerous going on, and then he let me take him out of his cage. But so you can mishandle a bird because you simply, you don't realize there are certain protocols. Some birds let you reach right in and take them out. Snowball, try to get him off the bottom of the cage. You have to know how to do it. He'll come right off the perch, but when he's hooked up to bars, no. Uh-uh. You have to know what you're doing, or he'll try to, he won't really bite you, but he'll make like he's going to. When he's holding on, he's holding on. So
Don, where are you?
oh, this stupid thing. Uh, they improved the app so it doesn't work all the time. Basically, right?
Mhm.
Sugar.
We in Germany have actually a word in the meantime for such a thing when something is improved and then works worse than before. It's a merge of to make it worse and to improve. So you might understand verschlimmbessern.
I get it. Uh, so
But yeah, that's what they often do at the moment with apps.
if you're panicking, you see. Let's say I'm trying to think of an example here. You look down at the poop in the morning and it doesn't look right. I mean, it just looks really wrong. That does happen a lot in mornings because they don't always poop normally, early in the morning before they get up, that kind of thing. But so you panic, right? So you don't go and weigh them, right? You don't check to see that they're getting, that their water supply is okay and clean and they're able to drink. Uh, you aren't looking to see if their vitals are okay. Their eyes are open and round. They're not, they're attentive. All those basic things. You're not doing that because you're panicking, right? Oh, look at that poop. Well, sometimes there's a poop here and there that's off. You check. You check a little before and a little after. A good example of that recently was in KK's cage. I found poop that had the urine was dyed red. So I went, well, that doesn't look like blood because blood is not red. It's a darker color, right? But so I took a picture of it, gave it to Chat GPT, and it said that looks like food coloring. So I looked in his bowl because he doesn't usually eat the supreme, and all the red ones were gone. So that told me. But if I'd panicked and taken him to the vet, it would have. That's better than not going. Okay, but if you if you can't figure it out, but then you're putting a lot of stress on the bird too. So you might start a problem. So if you can figure it out and it makes sense, you reason it out. It's different if you've got a bird, you go in their cage and they're bleeding, profusely. Then, it's clean them up, see where the blood's coming from, see if you can stop it, make the phone call to the vet, and go that kind of thing. Or if you don't have a vet, then you go into your little bathroom right back there, which is the master bathroom, is actually the room where we do exams and all the medical stuff is. So, and I've got things like silver nitrate to stop bleeding, and which is the heavy duty stuff. But you can also, when you're panicked, you might grab the wrong thing. You're reaching to grab that. I keep these in separate areas so this doesn't happen. But you reach to grab the hydrogen peroxide because you're going to clean off the area around where you don't want to actually touch the skin with them, you can avoid it. But if you've got a bunch of feathers that have blood on them, you use that to kind of see where it's coming from. If you can't see it, use the hydrogen peroxide to clear the area so you can see it. You reach down and get the alcohol, you got a problem. Because their skin isn't going to handle the alcohol is there to clean your tools. It's there specifically to clean things. It's not there to put on the bird. So maybe on you, but not the bird. So that's the kind of thing. And then going to when you have a bird that's got a major problem, it has kidney problem or it has a liver problem, some kind of organ problem, and then you hear from someone else, oh, what are you doing? Leave her alone. Hey, no, no, that was not your best move. That's not your best move. Go up here. Um, I know, I know. He can be a pain. I know it. But he doesn't realize he can fly, so we should be okay. KK. And you want to get petted. Right now, I'm kind of busy there, Steve, but I'll pet you a little bit. He's been taught to cue me that
So,
way, so.
meanwhile, we can greet Spirit Matter, who has joined us.
Hello,
Hi,
Spirit
Spirit.
Matter. KK, what are you doing? So you get someone, I'm watching him pretty closely because he's in kind of a mood now. I don't know what he's going to do. And Jasmine's going to start her runaround, so looks like.
Oh. We will get some birdie live action.
Yeah, I'm pausing to keep an eye on him because he's not usually, well, he's been playing a lot, but he's not usually quite this active.
KK, are you about to entertain our viewers? Cutie pie.
What are you doing, KK? Huh? What are you doing? If you get down next to me, you're going to make half a problem. Yeah, he's up there watching her now. What does she think she's doing getting next to him? I own him.
Oh.
All right, Cecil, if you must get down. So when you're panicking, you might decide to buy the snake oil that someone's selling you online. I'm not actually a veterinarian, but because I've been around birds my entire life, I use this special snake oil. Watch out for the snake oil salesman. It'll be some product that, oh, I know it works because I've used it before. What? What did you say? I didn't quite hear that. Oh, no, I have no idea what that means. What happens is we want to hear something, we want to believe something, so we do. So, hey, now let's not do that. No, no, no. I'm letting this go because he's a good flyer and he tends to not realize he can fly. So I know when to intervene and when it won't matter. Are you okay now? I've never felt so protected. Thank you. Silly bird. Silly boy. So beware of the snake oil salesman, and they'll come around. Oh, I know this works. I've used it with my birds. Yeah, uh-huh. And what university did you graduate from? Um, I try to always give references where I'm. If I should recommend something, I'll try to give you a reference for it. If I don't, ask me for one because I am not a veterinarian. I know quite a bit, but I didn't go to school for 8 years and 4 years of residency, folks. So I know my limitations.
Mhm.
You get to a real avian vet like Dr. Jenkins, who actually did surgery on a kidney where there was a tumor. And when you say that to other avian vets, they look at you like he did what? You know, and the birds survived. Oh yeah, it wouldn't have if they had the tumor hadn't been removed. But they're not always perfect. I mean, vets can be wrong too. So, but the chances of them being wrong is a lot smaller than the chances of Mr. Dudley Do Right that has a rescue somewhere in Oshkosh, wherever. And well, I've been using this. I know, it's great for ducks. I'm not dealing with a duck.
Mm. So, especially when it comes to parrots, there is a lot of bad advice out there in the internet. So, yeah, be careful and better research twice and be a bit skeptical to some advice,
I could, yeah,
especially when it sounds too good or too easy to be true. Like if you just, I don't know, give your bird every day a piece of banana so it will be healthy and never get anything, or that will cure the tumor. So that's them usually like, that's if that worked, the hospitals and everybody would actually using it.
yeah. And Steve Jobs would still be with us today if he didn't have that attitude. He tried
That's
to
the
heal
thing. Then you
himself.
can see even in one field rather smart people can be jerks in the other field. So that's also when somebody is a real genius in one field doesn't mean it's a genius in every field. So
Yeah. So that's something to watch out for. There is one example I can give you that has nothing to do with birds, but it will make it clear. I know someone back when the banks were, starting to fail and there was that whole mess going on. And this one individual said, "Well, I'm going to make my money safe." And then they moved their money into a savings and loan. And I said, "You took your money that was at a major bank, which is too big to fail, and you put it in a savings and loan. That sounds like a smart move. Think about it. They're not going to let these big banks fail, but if you got some little savings and loan, it might take you for that. You might eventually get your money if it's FDIC, which federally insured, but it might take you a couple of years. But if it's a big bank, everything goes pretty quickly, right? So again, that was panicking. That was just what panicking does. So, well, hi, you're back over here now, are you? Hmm? Fortunately, that savings and loan didn't go belly up, but several of them did in that time. Um, and then, of course, if you do panic and you make a mistake, you end up beating yourself to death about it for years, unless you're one of those people who has no conscience, and then it won't matter. But most of us have a conscience, so if you made a mistake, or you panicked, or you were complacent and said, "Oh, I can handle this," and it went wrong, um, if you've got a conscience, it's going to bother you. So,
mhm.
now, you laughing at me over there, boy? He's laughing at me. So
The
the
thing with
complacency,
parrots, so there can show up scary situations where you actually are close to panicking. I mean, for example, I was once close to panicking when I realized one of my budgies is bleeding, and with the knowledge that budgies only have 4 milliliter of blood, well, that's really like okay, that's serious.
it is. But what you have to be calm and think, how do I stop the bleeding? Why?
Mm.
First question is, why is there bleeding? Where, why? Um, how is this happening? And then you pick the appropriate tool. If it's on a budgie, I might go right away for a silver nitrate stick because they are painful when you touch them to skin, but it will seal that blood off, the bleeding instantly.
Yeah,
You just
that's
don't want
that's
to.
the thing. And I had well, I basically, yeah, while I was checking out what was actually going on, I also checked out if the vet has is open. My first address vet is basically just 5 minutes car drive away, so and the vet still had open, so we just snagged the budgie and took it there. And the good thing is the bleeding also stopped itself, so it wasn't a major incident and everything went fine. But that are moment when you stand there and just see that spot of blood on a perch and you think like, oh no, and then seeing like, oh yeah, there's a budgie bleeding on the claw in my case, and then that was shocking moment.
Yeah, and if you and sometimes when you have something like that, if you're complacent, like, oh, it's just a little blood, then you might find out later it wasn't just a little blood because it kept bleeding, and then you're in a serious situation. So either panicking or being complacent, like, oh, that'll probably stop bleeding on its own. Either one of those is going the wrong way. You want to approach
That,
it as
that's the next
logically as you
thing.
can.
What basically results from what we are talking today is being prepared for emergencies so you don't have to panic.
Yeah, if I've
Well,
got a
that's
major situation.
basically things every bird owner can have. Like you always said, like that there is a blood feather or that the budgie injured or the parrot injured itself somehow. And there are things it's when you have your little emergency case and can basically have stuff to deal with it. That's always a good
Well,
case.
just if they'll let me do this, you never know. Leaving the room causes all kinds of issues, but
You
there's
want
a
to leave the
problem.
room.
You, I've got you get the medical supplies, the scale, the hydrogen peroxide. This is I just cleaned this. I don't want that in the floor in the room. But all the medical supplies, first aid kit, sutures, betadine solution. That's for humans. Isopropyl alcohol to clean things. There's the Dremel. You need some kind of a light if you're going to have to look and make sure that they're okay. So you can put the light on and you can look at something. These little sticks right here are the silver nitrate sticks. In here is the blood coagulants and heads for the Dremel.
Mm.
So this is the working area when I have a problem with the bird. You got the perch there, but also a table. If you have to lay them out, if you're going to do a suture or something, you need to have a table. So just in case you guys ever wondered what the master bathroom looked like at this Chloe Sanctuary, it looks like an exam room. Ugh. But that helps to keep me from panicking because I have about everything. Plus, I have other meds that are in a special refrigerated unit that I made myself from a wine cooler. It's a piezoelectric wine cooler, and it's not doesn't use the refrigerant. It uses the piezoelectric device. and it also has a heater in it. And then I have an external temperature control that monitors it. I have an alarm, and that's hooked up to a battery backup. And outside, I've got a solar backup that could run that little unit for a good week. So just to make sure the medications they need, like meloxicam and Haldol and Baytril and those kind of things, are all kept at the right temperature. Which most medicines, be careful, most medicines are not kept at refrigerator level. If you're putting medicine you got from the vet in a refrigerator, you're probably not putting it in the right place unless the vet tells you to do that. It wants to
Mm.
be roughly 21.5 centigrade, 72 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the mean, and usually you can vary it 5 degrees one way or the other. That's pretty much what
What's
you're
that?
stuck with.
Is that Pretty Bird? No.
Oh, nope, that's KK bird.
Oh, have you seen his acrobatic?
Yeah, yeah. He's been playing more.
Uh,
He's getting more used to. When he first came here, he was running all over the place. Then he stuck by me. Now he sits by me for a while and he goes and plays. But you want back over here? All right.
so if anybody has questions or wants to tell a story or however you feel, you can post in chat. That is pretty quiet today, so I don't have much work. I can basically just watch the birdies and enjoy, which is also nice.
It's nice to watch the birdies and enjoy.
Mm.
They're good birds. They have their moments, but they're good. We all have our moments, right?
That's the thing. Humans have their moments as well. So
More than with parrots, I think. They're not. They don't like to quarrel. It's not something that it's not normal for them to quarrel. They'll usually
mm,
do like Snowball and Lucy are doing right there. They'll get somewhere, kind of doze and sit next to each other, and then if they can, they'll preen. Lucy's a little bit nervous about preening. She's a little oversensitive about her feathers,
mm.
but
But if they have a yellow crest, or so they tend to play tricks on each other.
the yellow crest. I think about that movie with Jeff Bridges. What's it called? Starman or something like that. Where he's supposed to be an alien and he's driving down the road. He's been watching the woman he's kidnapped. But he's been watching her drive, and so he says no. At some point, she says, "I need to rest," and so I'll drive. She goes, "Well, you've never driven before. I've been watching you." So they're driving down the road, and he's driving okay for a while, and then this hay truck starts to cross the road. The light turns yellow, and he hits the gas, and he ends up ramming the hay truck off the road. It doesn't actually hit it, but causes it to flip over off the road. She goes, "What were you doing? You said you knew how I drove." He said, "Well, I do. Green, you go, and red, you stop, and yellow, you go very, very fast." Um, yeah, we think we drive one way and we drive another. So nice foot. You trying to tell me something? You trying to tell me something? Doesn't mean you can't get emotional, but you can't let your emotions take over. That's important. You need to look at the situation rationally. What's happened? Why am I seeing this blood? Where is it coming from? What makes this foot look funny right now? Why am I seeing this? Let me compare it with the other foot. Oh, I see. You find a problem, you start to see it. Um, and then you keep working that way. Depending on how severe it is, you go right to the vet. If you can't get to a vet, these problems happen to me. This is why I like Chat GPT so much. If I'm going to have a problem like this, it's going to be when the vet has closed. Of course, here it's like on a Wednesday because that's when they're not open. But most people, it's on the weekend, right? So if a problem's going to happen, that's when it's going to happen. It's going to be happen the first day they're closed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my vet has an emergency number, so you can get her to come out in an emergency. But in a lot of places, you don't have vets that'll do that. So makes it a little tough. What are you guys doing? I was discussing that with our vet, saying that avian vets are becoming a species that's dying out. And she said, "Yeah, I know. Nobody wants to do the extra schooling, and we don't really know enough about them to help them much." Yeah, well, we do now. I mean, we know about this autoimmune disease, and we know how to help them now. So there's a lot more that these vets could do. But again, it's you got to commit yourself to a lot more schooling. And the
Mm-hmm.
eyes of people when you say, well, that's going to be $300, for this blood work, and they look at you like you're insane. How much blood work's going to cost me? How much? Yeah, it has to go to a specialized lab. Has to be, you have to have like the basic interpretation done there, and then the vet has to go through it. Yeah, it's going to cost you some money for that. So a lot of people don't take their birds to the vet at all. Sometimes it's because they financially shouldn't even own a bird. The other side of it is it may be hard to get your bird to a vet. There's always complications when it comes to parrots. I had to take when I took Cossin yesterday. I tried calling because I saw a long line outside the building. I didn't realize that they were closed up until 2. They reopened at 2. They have their lunch from 1 to 2. So I saw that line. I can't stand out there with cause. I have to get in the building. So I tried calling in, and I got put on hold. I sat there for 5 minutes and saw heck with it. So I grabbed her and ran, holding on to her all the way up to the building and got inside. And people are like, "Why is he running?" And because they can't breathe that 100, what was that, 105 yesterday. They can't breathe that
Mm-hmm.
air for long, right? They won't be. It'll
Mm-hmm.
stop their breathing. So then, of course, I forgot my hmm, now I can't even think of the word for it. What do you call that thing? It's
Thing.
yeah, it's something you carry papers in, but it wasn't like a
Your
briefcase or
purse.
something. A note. I had my notepad and that kind of thing in there, but I ended up leaving that there too. I'll pick it up next time I'm out there. But I had to run back out while somebody else held cause. One of the techs held cause, so I could get the paperwork because I had to show what information I had on the testing. So,
Mm.
and of course, the test at the lab doesn't say anything about you know, um, a glucoside assay, which is basically so I had to tape a piece of paper across it and write that on there, and the vet's going, well, it must be on here somewhere. I said, no, they don't have that on there. I called and got the price, and this is what they call it. So this is the way you need to, you know, it's that new. Okay, I mean, it's that new. So it's not even on their sheet. You have to hand write it in.
Mhm.
But everybody seemed to like her there. The people were all like, "Oh, what a cute bird
Because he is a cute bird.
she is."
So who was the lucky one who was able to hold her? A vet assistant.
Yeah, one of the vet techs. Um, I had her name for a while. Oh, Michaela. Her name's Michaela. She held her. And then when I came back, she kind of didn't want to hand her back to me. I said, you don't have to stand there and hold her if you don't want to. And she went, I don't mind.
Hmm.
They don't see too many birds, but they do see some.
Yeah, it's nice for Corsi to meet other people.
Oh, she had a good time. They didn't, even the shot didn't bother her because it goes in the back. So they had to clip, when they took blood, she'd already had it done once, so she didn't complain too much this time. Fortunately, the test doesn't require putting it on ice and sending it, next day or anything. It's not so much the extra expense, which there is, but it's the fact that it has to be, it's delicate, and you don't know if you get the right result. They said it doesn't matter. You can have it here for 2 weeks and test it, and it'll tell us. It's an easy test. So now that we know what it is, anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't remember seeing anything but dogs. There was just like a mass of dogs there.
Oh, Babalu would love being there. Woof, woof, woof.
Yeah, he would have started them all barking for sure.
Yep.
He's an instigator, that boy.
Yeah, I think Babalu considers himself being at least half dog.
Well, he always hoped that if he barked that and this is my guess, that if he barked, they'd eventually take him out of his cage for a walk because they walked the
Mhm.
dogs and they didn't walk the birds.
So Babalu decided to be a dog. Now he's a
Yep,
doggeroo. One of the
poor
cutest
dog.
doggeroos ever. Woof, woof,
He,
woof.
he is cute. He's amazing though. He's okay with just being a half hour a day. If I try to bring him in with another bird in here, he's not happy. But
Mm.
if I get him out for a half hour, play with him, and he's fine. I don't understand it. Most of these birds here, if you gave them a half hour a day, they wouldn't tolerate it well. They need at least a couple hours out. Cecil, are you going to do that to me again? Hmm. Telling me to pet you? Hmm. I think you just like the power over me. I think that's what that is.
Some cute birdie insides. What a face. Hmm? What a super cute face.
Oh, he's a charmer. This one. Sometimes he's a snake charmer, but he is a charmer. Do you have to chew on my thumb? Do you actually have to chew on my thumb? I can't hold the camera when you're chewing on my thumb. What are you doing? Hmm? KK, you
Hmm.
want my attention? KK, want my attention? I know. I got two umbrellas vying for my attention now. So, oh, we're not going to start that. No, we're not going to start that. No, 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 no. We're not going to hammer the hand. No.
Lisa Banerjee says, bless everyone and our animals. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Oh, and look at Shuggy. Hi for Shuggy. That's really cute. Shuggy looks extra cute today.
She's watching me because I've got my hand out like hers.
Oh,
Doesn't quite know what to make of me doing it too. Hi, kitty.
Mm.
Sea salt.
So much fluff and cuteness all over.
I had the pleasure of going to get 300 gallons of water. Wait a minute, what's this? It's 5-gallon containers, and there were not
Mm.
quite that much. I had 16 5-gallon containers. That's only 90 gallons. Right now, the humidifier is eating 5 gallons a day, so
Mm.
just to keep the house at 40% humidity. Because it'd be dry as a bone outside. KK,
Mm.
you're not serious about this, are you? Hmm?
Mm.
Can I take my hand away from you? No. You're going to grip it? No. I'm not going to grip the hand. No, we're not
Mm.
going to grip the hand. Thank you. It's just a hand. It's not a surrogate, okay? Lucy, why are you
Bird.
staring at Snowball? Lucy is staring at Snowball. What are you doing? Yeah? Well, I'm not so sure what you mean. But you have your foot on me. Yes, you do. Uh-huh. I know. Yes, you are a good bird.
Do we
A
have
good
a
bird?
chatter Kiki? That's always cute.
Good
Good
bird?
bird, Kiki.
Good bird? Okay, good bird. Yeah, good bird. Good bird. Yeah, yeah, good bird. Uh-huh. Yeah, let me see if I know. Yeah. What kind of bird? A KK. KK. A bird. And a bird. A good bird. A good bird. Thank you. Good bird. Oh, KK. Good bird. Mhm. I hope they put that camera flip in there so nice. But get a different angle on KK before we go. You gonna say anything else, KK?
Kiki. Oh, and nothing.
Well, thank you everybody for being here. And don't, as they say in the uh, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, don't panic.
Mm.
Don't be complacent. It doesn't say that, but it should be the subtitle. Right, Stephen? You tell him. Say goodbye. Okay, Bird.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for the live stream, Dawn.
Thanks, Amy and Eleanor in the background, and Suni, who's trying to sleep. And we
Our
will see
moderation
you.
training.
We'll see you on Wednesday, I believe.
Science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower.
Evidence is evidence. It's public. Everybody can look at the evidence and assess it, and eventually, if there's enough evidence, come to the same conclusion.
The Chloe Sanctuary for Parrots and Cockatoos, a nonprofit charity dedicated to the empowerment of captive parrots and public awareness.